Calling all Cainiacs! 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 Oh, Cain, can you Dean? Live from Northeast Comic-Con, it's the Cainiacs Podcast. Wow, big. Ooga chaga, ooga, ooga, ooga chaga, ooga, ooga. Hooked on a Dean Cain with your host, Dan Cain. Knees. Oh, I want to see Dean Cain. Cain.
Thank you so much for putting in this wonderful song that you sang for us. You always do a great job at introducing the podcast. We really appreciate it.
We should probably record that.
Yeah,
I think it's better live when we just do it. It captures the energy, I think.
It's better to do it live.
Yeah.
It's real. It's a lot more organic when we do it live.
Exactly.
I think I do agree with that.
For sure.
Sorry, I brought it up.
For sure.
So we're live here at the Northeast Comic-Con, and we're really excited because the man himself, Mr. Dean Cain, is in the room right next to us right now.
He's very close.
He's right over there.
very close.
Really big moment for us. We've done this podcast for about 14 years, I think.
14 years and counting.
Even before podcasts existed.
We were the first
It
podcast.
started kind of just conversations between ourselves, and then we would remember and kind of repeat things that we said.
We would record it and then listen to ourselves talk about it.
Right, it did, and now here we are live in front of you. Get to enjoy our podcast.
Right. I think this is the first time that, I've been as physically close as I feel emotionally close to the man. And I think this is a fantastic day for all of us. I'm very happy to be here. Hopefully we get a chance to, we tried earlier. Hopefully we get a chance to really meet him.
Well, I've been practicing for this moment for about 3 or 4 years when they originally announced that he was going to be here 4 years ago.
Right.
And I have a Dean Cain doll at home, and I have it sitting down on my couch, and I work out. I do trial conversations with it. And
So do you want to? We usually do this amongst ourselves. Do you want to? Do?
I'll be Dean.
No. Whoa.
Okay.
I'm gonna be Dean.
Hold on.
No, I'm gonna be Dean.
That's just disrespectful at this point.
Why?
This bottle of water can be.
Okay, sure.
The bottle. Okay, so for example, this bottle of water, and I still, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't built up the strength and the courage to speak with him yet. I'm still working on it, but I'm shaking just thinking about this bottle of water being named, to tell you the truth. But so this is the bottle of water, and this is Dean Cain. So and this is me. This is me going up to talk to Dean Cain.
Right.
So
He's a big man.
He's very big. So the first thing I say, "Wow, Dean Cain, what big legs you have."
Good. Compliment. Start with a compliment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
100%.
Strong opening.
He does love his legs.
He says the better to star in Lois and Clark in the 90s with my legs. And I say, wow, Dean Cain, what big arms you have.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, the longer to star in The Perfect Husband, the Lacey Peterson story with.
Obviously.
And I say, wow, Dean Cain, what wonderful Lego man hair you have. He says, the better to, what else have I done? I gotta think about this for a minute. Well, I guess I was on the news that one time when they had the 4th of July. The reporter came up to me and asked, hey, Dean Cain, how you doing? So I guess the better to cameo on the news with.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
And also, in that scenario, he gives you an opportunity to show your devotion to him by giving him suggestions of what he's been in.
Yeah.
When he says, "Oh, what have I been?" He say, "Wow."
Oh, leaves the door right open.
You've been on my.
Right.
Your name has been on my lips for the past 14 years.
You don't have to tell him, because I think that he gets that a lot. People are always like, Superman, you know?
And yeah, we're all his IMDb, you know, because
Yeah.
he forgets sometimes. He's just such a prolific man, you know. He's done so much in his career that sometimes he forgets, you know. You can't remember every single hand you've shook in your entire life.
Exactly. Also, we also talked about having a separate filmography site, IMDC, so Dean Cain can only he has access to the site,
Right.
and it only has his filmography, and also things that he's done in his
Fun
free
trivia
time.
facts.
Fun trivia.
And Dean Cain would really, I mean, the IMDb website would appreciate that because his prolific span of his career really weighs down all the servers on their site. They have to dedicate
Exactly.
an entire building to Dean Cain information.
Exactly.
There's 2 buildings that he owns. Oh, is that?
We have a question
question.
from there's
Yeah,
somebody in the audience.
Do you
that
love
has
Dean
it.
Cain? Do you love Dean Cain?
Dean Cain, he's the star of
Dean-
Lois and Clark season 3.
Dean Cain. Perfectly symmetrical
Do
name.
you want to come up and talk?
Okay, folks, welcome this gentleman here to the Cainiacs Podcast. You can step up
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
just come on,
seem like
however you
a
want.
limber young man.
You do whatever you
See
want
right
on the
here?
stage as
Now,
long as
I
whatever
just
it
noticed
is
we
you
haven't
respect
introduced
Dean Cain.
ourselves.
Oh, so I'm Dan Cain. My name, ladies and gentlemen, is Dan Cain, and Cain was not my original last name. I actually had my last name changed, and it was hard because I went to a lot of judges. They wouldn't do it for me, and then so what I ended up doing was marrying a woman whose last name was Cain, and just so I could take her last name. And
She's a wonderful person.
I don't love her, but I needed the
It
name.
was worth it.
It was
Marriage is
worth
give
it.
and take. You
Yeah.
took her name and she gives you hell. So I think it's a good way to live your life.
Right, you got to make those personal sacrifices if you want to have Dean Cain's last name. And so that's my backstory. Also, my first name isn't Dan. It sounds close to Dean, so I have people call me that. But my first name is actually George. George.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks. So let's just move down the line. We'll have the rest of the people here introduce themselves.
Yes, I'm little Nikki Chambers. You guys can check out my GoFundMe page. I have a GoFundMe page to live with Dean Cain. He's got 2 homes, one in Malibu and one in Colorado. And the Colorado has 2 kitchens, one for him, one for me. And so I am now raising the $4.5 million to help buy he's having a little money trouble right now, and he can't really afford the Colorado home. So I want to help him out.
I don't think it's that he can't. I think he chooses not to.
Yeah, I think because
When you're on
to
that
afford
level,
it.
you have more of an idea of what you're going to do with your money. So I wouldn't call it.
he wants me to live with him. Clearly, so I have a GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com/I want to live with Dean Cain. Please, any dollar amount will help, and it's just gonna be. It should be really. I'm gonna miss you guys living in Colorado, but and ultimately, you guys can come over whenever you want.
But we
Absolutely.
could still Skype, right?
Oh, absolutely. We can Skype.
Okay, as long as we could Skype up.
Do
Good.
you think the man doesn't have Wi-Fi? He's
Dean Cain. He has Wi-Fi.
Come on.
He absolutely has Wi-Fi.
Come on.
He probably
Just a little-
does.
Just a minor ribbing.
Yeah.
Just a little ribbing.
Yes.
You wanna? Who are you?
Oh, sorry. I get so caught up in the Cain talk.
I know.
My name is Walter Severis. As we
The Severises?
yes, of course. I don't like to, I try to make my own name by using the family name. But we've been talking about this for, I came in a little bit late, 13 years in, but the man is an inspiration to me ever since I first saw him in those commercials that he did for Carvel Ice Cream. It just really changed the way that I thought about what's possible in the world. And I've started a foundation called I Cain Imagine, where we kind of meet young innovators and people who are interested in creating, and we
Specifically, cis white males.
exactly, and we tell them to look at Dean Cain and see what he's doing and figure it out themselves. So it's less of a foundation and more of like a chat room where we said, check out Dean Cain.
And we approach them. We scope them out at arcades and pizza places.
Right.
A lot of scoping. We do a lot of scoping. In our
Scoping.
spare
That is the priority of our organization. We say, hey, check out Dean Cain. Also, we scope people out. So look at his. Just check us out online. We have a couple of events coming up. We have the Candy Cane initiative, where I will be starting a business coming this holiday season where I make life-size sculptures of Dean Cain and peppermint candy. So
We
Candy
scope,
cane.
we scope, and we scoped.
we
Scope and
we
scope.
scope and scoped. That is, kind of our ham and eggs.
I'll be sitting in the back booth of the North Reading Papagenos, scoping out young boys to be part of our organization. So look out for that
So
too.
if you see us
Yeah, look
scoping,
out. Look
here's
out for
hoping,
us.
that's-
Look out for us.
Look out for
Definitely
us.
look out.
So now we have this young Cainiac here who decided to hop on.
Sure.
Do you just want to introduce yourself to the people?
I'm Paul, and I'm a plant.
Like an audience plant?
Yeah. I'm a professional plant. Like, I'll sit in audiences, and I'll be, like, part of it, but people won't really know until... a
So
little
the
later.
crowd's not aware of it, but the people that are running the show are aware of it.
Yeah, the people who are on the show know I'm part of the show, but the people who are in the audience usually are unaware, and it's sort of like a dramatic irony thing.
So they think that you're one of them.
Right. Like, I'm the relatable one that, like, I'm sort of not as informed, but, like, I sort of bring everything back to earth with my relatability. I also, on holidays, I go around and I look in people's windows for a living. It's one thing
Now, how does one turn that into a lucrative activity?
Huh? Oh, I mostly it's begging for scraps.
Okay.
That's actually how
okay.
we met.
Scrap baby.
Yeah.
We met that you were looking into my living room.
Right. And then you asked me to be a plant on this show.
Yep.
Right.
But as far as you're all concerned, we've never met
We've
him.
never met
No,
him before.
I've never
He
met
was
these
sitting
people.
in the audience. We
Don't know who he is.
He
Candidly
was
asked
just-
him to come up
He was
here.
there by himself for no apparent reason.
But for context, we totally have met.
Right.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Right.
Quite
So
often.
if you could somehow just keep that in the back of your
Just-
mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going over my Dan Cain hair locks the other day, just going through and making sure that there weren't any missing fibers.
Do you still have my baggie? I let you borrow my baggie to help with the Dean Cain doll. Do you still have it?
Oh yeah, it's in the
Alright.
back of my freezer.
Thank you.
So yeah, I was going through all of my Dan Cain, the hairs, and just kind of looking at them and rubbing my fingers through them and just kind of dreaming, daydreaming and thinking about like what it would be like to be the man himself, and then I started having this fantasy that I was Dan Cain. And
That's a funny
That's-
dream
that's
that you
pretty
think you could
far-fetched.
be him.
That's far-fetched.
I think it's somewhat reasonable in reality, but it happened to be a fantasy I was having, but I think it's attainable. So you go ahead and laugh at
So
that.
what?
but
Now,
sure.
by attainable, do you mean impossible?
By attainable, I mean all I need is a couple, like 2 or 3 different surgeries, and
Just 2 or 3. I mean, I can count 2 right now. Calf implants, right there. That's 2. Those are 2 surgeries.
well,
All
all
right.
right,
Those are two
okay,
separate
4
surgeries.
or 5 different
A lot of recovery
surgeries.
time.
Now we're getting more
That's true.
realistic.
And I've already been taking acting lessons, and I've been told I'm one of the best in my class, in my night class in the local high school.
Oh.
So I'm 75% of the way there to being a Dan Cain himself.
Do you take HGH for that too?
I don't have that channel.
Oh, okay. It's a human growth hormone, is what I was going for.
Oh, once I start getting some good gigs, like I think they're doing a remake of the Lacey Peterson story, and I'm auditioning for that. I figure once I get that, I'm gonna be just rolling in the dough, and from there, yeah, I think I'll be able to afford some of the HGH, so I can have to thicken my eyebrows, for
Right.
example. That's something I need to work on to get to
Most people
achieve
consider-
Cainhood.
Most people consider that more of a side effect of using HGH.
The
But
thick eyebrows?
that's like your main.
But that's the Cain
Yeah, because
way.
the marker,
That's the Cain way. You
magic
take
marker
a
rubs
side
off too
effect,
easy.
You turn it into a superpower.
A main effect.
A main effect. Thank you. Cain effect.
Cain effect.
Fast friends. You guys have never met. That's cool.
Yeah, I know.
Never
Well,
met
I mean,
before.
wait, hold on.
Just
How
met for
much-
the first time today.
How much do you have to know someone to high five them? What are your intimate issues that you have?
I refuse. Unless you're Dean Cain, I refuse to touch you.
To high five,
So it'd be that's a special bond.
Yeah,
for
I
someone
used to
high
high five toll booth operators until they eradicated them all.
I wonder if the two are connected. That'd be
Should we
interesting
talk
to
about
see.
the toll booth Holocaust?
What?
Should we break that up?
I think we should.
We're
Yeah,
here with
it's a touchy
Massachusetts
subject, but-
citizens, and they recently had a toll booth worker holocaust, and I was very much for it. My coworkers here were against it.
Well, they rounded them all up, right?
Rightfully so.
Yep. They gave them each a number.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, all toll booth workers have horns on their heads. I don't know if you guys disagree with me on that, but
I mean, my father was a toll booth worker, and
he looked like a little baby calf.
Yeah, he's got two little tiny horns.
A lot of people don't know that toll booth operators are actually farmed. They're not born.
Like salmon.
What?
Yep, salmon.
Like salmon.
Yes, like salmon.
Right, sorry. I thought you said Santa.
I said salmon. I said salmon. Salmon. What did you hear? Because I said salmon.
I thought you said Carl Sagan.
Close, but I said salmon. You know, like
salmon.
the fish.
Sherbet.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
Moving
toll
on
booth
to
workers?
Cain talk.
I have no opinions about toll booths whatsoever. I kind of keep
Well,
to
then
the
you're a
back
coward.
rows.
You're upset. We didn't put this on the list of things we were going to talk about. You're upset about this, aren't you?
You know, we're here celebrating the man. He's close by. I really don't want to get bogged down in any kind of negative talk about
You're right.
toll roads.
You're absolutely right. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sorry.
Do you
my water?
think Dean Cain is worrying about toll booths? You think he spends his time thinking about those kind of things?
Dean Cain doesn't use the roads. He soars above everywhere he goes to visit.
Yeah.
Right. There's no
he
tolls in the
knows he
sky.
doesn't get- That's why I think we should just transition the conversation. I didn't mean to digress.
Thank you.
That was my fault.
That's what I do. I'm here to keep us honest.
You are.
You know.
I'll take responsibility for pulling us off track because I probably shouldn't be here.
You're right.
I don't know anything about. I think I only know Dean Cain from really the campaign trail, like the stuff he's done for other people's campaigns.
Like,
Okay.
like I don't know.
Campaign Cain.
I only know him in his world. I don't know him outside of that. So what else? What did you know, Paul?
Yeah.
What happened on the campaign trail?
What happened on the campaign trail? Is he a Jill Stein voter?
He just goes out and I think he was a big. Ralph Nader guy.
Okay.
No.
Big Ralph Nader guy.
Huh?
Okay.
Sure.
And you know, what we're here to celebrate is the work of the man, not necessarily his thoughts
No.
on politics. That's not what he signed
or
up for.
concussion syndromes. I know he does not think concussion syndrome exists.
Right. And you know, I think if one of his characters said something about these subjects,
Then I believe
that we could talk
then
about
this would be the time
Right.
to talk about it.
Then we could talk
but
about it.
since we are talking about the work of the man,
Right.
we are not here to critique his
Right.
personal life.
Right.
That's not what the Cainiacs are about.
No,
I know.
we never were.
Yeah,
We
no.
never were.
Okay.
This is our first live podcast. I'm really nervous. There's people here, like 3 pretty girls. I'm just really, really nervous about it.
Yeah. I think we all are.
Well, I will say this about concussion syndrome.
2.5 pretty girls.
Dean Cain did play football in college, and if concussions do anything to you, they make you wind up on the set of Lois and Clark season 3. Season 3.
Season 3. That is true.
Lois and Clark.
did
Lois
he
and
play
Clark season
Batman?
3, easily my favorite television show.
Of all time.
Yeah,
Lois and Clark,
season 3.
season
That's
3.
The full title of the show is Lois and Clark season 3.
And
My
they
favorite
discovered-
season is season 2 of Lois and Clark season 3.
Right.
They discovered the West, right? Lois and Clark. Weren't they?
So this
You're
this,
really
I'm glad
driving us
we
into
get,
the ground every couple of seconds.
I'm glad we get a chance to talk about this because this is a common mistake that happens.
Preach.
You know, we talk about Lois and Clark, of course, Lois Lane and Clark Kent.
Clark Gable.
Okay, so I see we're gonna have to do a little bit more education. So, are you familiar with Superman?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think so.
It's that.
Right. He did. There was. They did the Dark Knight one.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
And he did
Yep.
the. What was the other one?
Which, by the way, was a
Avengers?
crime. I just want to say it was a crime that Dean Cain wasn't cast as Superman
Oh, absolutely.
in Batman vs. Superman. I was a big
I
fan
was
of the
shocked
idea.
when they announced. I don't even know. I can't even speak his name.
I mean, we can't
Don't say it.
We can't call that a
Don't want to lose
legitimate
listeners.
Superman film.
It's not in canon.
You know, if Cain is not involved, we can't.
It's not in canon, I should say.
You shouldn't.
Doesn't count.
But I just think when you disrespect the legacy of Superman by casting a non-Cain in the film, do you even care about film?
Well, like for example, I was really frustrated when the Christopher Reeve Superman came out. It did star Dean Cain, and I know he was only 4 or 5 years old when that movie came out.
That movie has no legs.
But I think they could have served the movie a lot better if
he could have used
if it had
Dean
Cain
Cain
as Superman. You could put him on stilts and you could paint his face a couple of years older, and there you go, boom, better Superman than Christopher Reeve.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree 100%.
And whoever directed that movie should be in prison.
Agreed.
Well, we finally found a point to agree on.
Usually we don't have this much contention.
No.
It's just a really tough political season, and I shouldn't make the show as political as I do, and I apologize.
And you really shouldn't. And I'm sorry to the listeners, the true fans, the 100% Cainiacs who had to listen to that digression, because you come here for the Cain and nothing else.
Right.
Yeah, this isn't, you're not trying to make it like political or like any religious undertones. That would be the Cainiacs Podcast.
That is right.
That's the Dean Cain podcast that also talks about the biblical implications of what Dean
it's
Cain
kind
has
of
done.
the Church of Dean Cain.
That one I do listen to, and I didn't know
Saints.
until today what it was really about until you guys brought up who Dean Cain is.
Well, one of the biggest differences between us, the Cainiacs, and the Cainiacs Podcast is that we're big, hardcore Lois and Clark Season 3 fans, the series. And they're big fans of the series Lois and Clark Seasons 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you might as well go to war with these people.
Is there any show that really catches its stride in the first 2 seasons? No. You don't even know the characters' names at that point. You need to get to Season 3 where everything is... It's the rule of 3.
Right.
It's the rule of 3.
I mean, it's just... If you want to compare, it's just like The Wire. I mean, I still don't know any of their names on The Wire, but I know... By Season 3, I knew everyone's name.
I'm sorry. Is Dean Cain in the cast of The Wire?
No, I'm just trying to give context to people who might not be as familiar with Dean Cain and Lois.
This is the Cainiacs. Who's not familiar?
Paul's not familiar.
Paul
I'm just getting caught up.
You know what I hate about Lois and Clark Seasons 1 and 2 is at no point does Superman fly over a shark.
That is true.
I was really frustrated with that.
Season 3.
Season 3, every episode he flies over a shark.
Right over that ship. Jumps.
The opening credits
Season 3, last season.
Credits, he definitely just made an effort. And that's what
there was that little boy, and he was like, help me, my shark isn't flown over. And then Dean Cain / Superman was like, I'll take care of that for you. He shows up, flies over the shark, and he goes, thank you so much, Dean Cain. Now my shark has flown over. Now I can finish delivering my newspapers and whatever little boys
Another
do.
great little bit of trivia, in Lois and Clark Season 3, the series, he now just goes by Dean Cain. He does not go by Clark Kent anymore.
This is true. His
because
character
that's
name
what
is Dean Cain. Tuning in for. You have
that's
the
why they're
mythology.
there. Yeah.
You have the mythology of Superman. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But what people want to see is how Dean Cain would react in Superman-based situations.
That year, the year that season came out, he guest starred as Regis Philbin on Regis and Kelly 65 times that year because he was just so popular.
Man.
Right. He would fly in.
Get enough Cain.
He would just fly in like Superman.
Oh, I know who he is.
Like
Dean Cain, the only actor that they do not require to use a string system to get him to fly.
He just does it.
Does it.
I liked the one where the jukebox is broken. He goes up to it, he hits it, and it starts working again. He's like, hey.
Now, this is a common misconception for people of a certain age. You say a cool guy, a cool white guy, and they think Fonzie.
Right.
So I'm glad you brought that up so we can address that. Dean Cain is not Fonzie.
Oh.
He's not. They're 2 separate people from 2 separate time periods.
Oh.
Okay.
But he does punch a lot of jukeboxes at Lois and Clark.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do that a lot though. I get Ron Perlman confused with most trash barrels.
Sure.
This is
So-
another common. Now,
A lot of people accidentally cast trash barrels in movies because it same for the
Hellboy
same.
3, Trash Barrel.
Now, we were speaking about his homes earlier. Is this true? Is it in the Malibu home where he has a room full of jukeboxes to punch?
Yes, he has a jukebox room. It's called the media room. That's what he calls
Right.
it, just for the layman. But yeah, it's a jukebox room in Malibu. It's
it's-
right near the pool, which is in the back on the right side of it. That's where it is.
So if I'm not misunderstanding this, it's a kind of a room set up like a Rocky training montage where he's punching them suspended from the.
Yeah, they're hanging up like slabs of meat,
slabs
and
of
he
meat, and
just
he's
punches
punching them.
the jukeboxes.
They're evil jukeboxes too. They got like mean looks on their faces.
Right.
They look like they're about to
Eyebrows,
commit crimes.
Thick eyebrows furrowed down.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But not as thick as Dean Cain's.
No, that would be-
Beautiful, luscious forest that
Right.
rests atop his eyebrows below his forehead.
Right. Thank you for. That's another common mistake that people make. They don't know where his eyebrows usually fall, but it is above the eye, below the
It's a
forehead.
very common
That's where you can
misconception.
find them.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a big debate. I talked to one lady. They said that his eyebrows were on his kneecaps, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
That's not a true Cainiac.
No, she
if you were a
doesn't
true
know.
Cainiac, you would know.
Poser. Can we just, real quick before this, I know we have to wrap up soon, but can we just go into more detail about the home I'm going to might be living
I want to
into?
hear everything about your Dean Cain home.
2 kitchens. Did I say that already? 2 kitchens.
Yes.
One for him, one for me. His and her kitchens.
Who's the her in this situation? You?
I am the her in this situation. I will
Gotcha.
gladly do anything he needs.
Did he play Ben-Hur?
This is a common misconception.
It is a common misconception.
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay. I thought there was going to
He
be a
would,
story
though.
behind that.
He would.
No,
No?
One of the
he's just not. It's facts.
Oh, okay.
One of the big catches is that when you buy part of the home, so you can use that kitchen and his lush mahogany leather couches in the living room and in the den.
Oh, I've looked in that window.
Yeah, it's in Colorado,
Familiar with
right
it.
outside of
Yeah.
Boulder. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to dress up like Terry Hatcher. You have to look exactly.
Terrence Hatcher, if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, is the evil, evil woman that's constantly trying to take Mr. Dean Cain away from us.
Terrence Hatcher.
Evil, terrible, terrible woman. She's trying to, with her evil woman claws, she's trying to steal Dean Cain's heart from us, and we must stop her.
Yep. And so I would have to look like her. So which is why I'm on a diet. Which is why I'm wearing this jacket under these hot lights. Is trying to lose some more weight to get that
I was
nice.
gonna say, I saw you in that
curvy-
jacket, and I was like, this is a wonderful Terrence Hatcher jacket.
Oh, thank you.
Actually,
Yeah.
you could take that bag. If you wear that bag, you lose weight faster. Just take it out of that Ron Perlman.
That
That's
Ron
not Ron
Perlman.
Perlman?
That Ron Perlman over there.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that was Ron Perlman.
That's not Ron Perlman. Is that, ma'am? Is that Ron Perlman?
Is he doing sightings?
Is he? Can you take a picture? Actually, yeah, we could charge people like 20.
$5 to take a picture with Ron Perlman.
20.
Do you think 20?
Oh yeah.
I think 5 is even asking too much.
I mean, you got all dressed up for us.
That's true. He is wearing his fancy barrel.
I remember one time I had a house fire and I got confused and I kept saying, my house is on Ron Perlman, my house is on Ron Perlman. And they had no idea what I was talking about. And I lost my entire home because of that mistake.
I hate when it's a really windy day and there's just Ron Perlman's rolling all over the streets.
It's about to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, be careful. Hey, I think that we've had a lot of fun up here. This episode of Cainiacs. I really appreciate you guys. And again, I apologize because this entire episode I've been hyperventilating because the man himself is in the room right next door to us, and I have been sweating profusely.
Hopefully his ears are burning. We've mentioned his name at least a quarter of the times we usually do.
Actually, ladies and gentlemen, Dean Cain.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Cain.
No.
Never mind.
Okay.
Once in a while when you do that, he is known to pop up.
Oh, you just say it 3 times. Dean Cain. Dean Cain. Dean Cain.
Not this
No,
time.
no.
Not this time. Hopefully.
Deedle juice. Nothing, don't such
Oh,
luck.
sir, I thought you were Dean Cain. I'm sorry.
Almost. Oh, sir, you're a wonderful looking man, but right now you're the most disappointing thing I've ever seen in my life. Only because you are not Dean Cain. But you do look like a nice person. I bet you take good care of your family.
If you have one.
If you have no judgment, if you don't have a family, most of us don't.
Guys, I think if it's kind of like in Peter Pan when you have to, like.
How is it like in Peter Pan?
There's someone in this room that doesn't believe in Dean Cain.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You are what is repelling him from this room. So everybody just think positive thoughts.
Think positive thoughts about Dean Cain. Everyone do it with us. Think Dean Cain.
Katie thoughts.
And let's do our mantra right now. I think I can. 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 I think I can.
Someone is not believing.
There's
Well,
someone.
we tried.
We did try.
So is there anything else before we close this out that you guys wanted to go over Cain-wise?
I think we covered it. For our first live episode, I think we got it all.
And I think you just reminded me there. We do have several products that we sell on the Cainiacs website. Everything from posters to
umbrellas,
the Cain Y jelly,
your T-shirt,
for
Joe
adult,
rings,
Cain
and we
wine
sell the
jelly.
God
Cain Y
Dean
jelly
Cain.
for adult uses. There, these shirts.
Got Dean Cain.
Got Dean Cain T-shirts.
God DK T-shirts.
Remember, I will be in the back booth of the North Reading Papagenos this upcoming Wednesday, scoping out.
And for anybody that has sweat issues, we sell Dean Cain armpit tampons.
Shaped just like the top of his head.
Exactly like this. You get confused sometimes. You feel like you're smothering Dean Cain, but you're not. It's just an armpit tampon.
Yeah. Well, that was...
I think we had a really successful episode.
Thank you so
everybody
much for listening. We
who
really appreciate
specifically
it.
paid the
Everybody.
$75 fee to come in and watch our
All
podcast.
you
well worth
Dean
it.
Cainiacs.
Make sure you go by and look at Dean in the next room. Tell him you were here at the Cainiacs Podcast. Let him know. We are in the building.
Time for the outro music.
Yeah, do you want to hit us with a good
There we
outro?
go. What would you do if I was Dean Cain? Would you fly out the window on me? Lend me your cape and I'll be Superman. Might even sing out a key. I Dean a little Cain with my friends. Oh, baby, I Dean a little Cain with my friends. Oh, Dean a little Cain with my friends. Oh, no, baby, no, Dean a little Cain with my friends. Boom, doom, doom, doom. Would it be any Dean Cain?
I just want someone to love.
Want someone to love. Boom, doom, doom, doom. Would it be any Dean Cain? Someone in the next room. His name is Dean Cain.
Sweat so hard.
I Dean a little Cain with my friend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out to the show.